Gali is here. Hi, Gali.
Hi,
Still
hi.
a request to connect to Instagram.
Oh, I did a request. Hold on. I'll do a request to join. 1 second. Hi, everyone that's online on YouTube. We're just
Hi,
trying to connect
everyone.
on
We just
Instagram.
start these technical things.
One
Just
second.
setting it up. Hi,
Okay, I've
Margaret.
sent you a request. Let me know if you got it.
Request. Here we
Hi,
go.
aloha, Margaret. Okay, fantastic. Just 1 sec. Okay,
Okay.
good. So,
So,
welcome to another Tuesday live. We missed the last week, so it's nice to be back.
yes,
And
Gali.
we're officially live on Instagram, on YouTube, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on all the platforms. It's very good to be back
Yeah. Also we are online in heaven.
and in
So
heaven.
if you want to really,
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Hello, Luciana on Instagram. I see there's quite a few people on. Okay, fantastic. So today we're talking about war, which is obviously a very major topic uh, in general. Of course, it's pretty much exactly 1 year and a day since the terrorist attack in Israel and everything that went down on October 7th, which sparked a massive ripple effect that we will speak more about. Of course, there's the Ukraine-Russia war. There's what's happening in Venezuela. There's hurricanes happening across the globe. There's crazy things happening everywhere. Um, just all kinds of things basically are disastrous. And every single person has some kind of a war that they're also in day to day. It feels like people are in their own war, whether it's a war just making it through the day or a war with their friend or spouse or whatever. So,
Mhm.
really, the topic today is wars and what's right in a war, what's wrong in a war, is all fair in love and war. This is all the things we will cover today. So, that's
Okay.
just a brief intro. So,
Okay. I'm very like I'm in. I'm very interested. I'm dying to
yeah,
hear.
yeah, exactly. I am too. Yeah. And let me just say a quick hello to everyone else dying to hear. Eva's here. Hello. And hi, Bridget. And hi, Lizette. And
Hi.
AI Art said hello and hello, hello. And Bridget said, yeah, Hurricane Helene in my state. Yes. And now there's Milton coming. Poonam on Instagram says hello. So, wars. The topic is war, and what's sort of the common denominator to all war? What? Let's start with that.
Well, the purpose of war is to bring your opponent to a more amendable frame of mind.
Amendable meaning?
Like he's more willing to change his mind.
Okay. Yeah.
So Japan was unwilling to change their mind. So Nagasaki and Hiroshima happened, and they were very willing to change their mind from fighting to surrender.
Yeah. Yeah.
The same happened with Germany, etc. So the purpose of war is to bring the opponent to a more amendable frame of mind.
Yes.
Okay, good.
100%.
When the war become insane, the longer it continues. So war of iteration is the most insane war that there is
Okay, let's
because
explain that. War of attrition. What do you mean by that?
it means that both sides just attacking each other, but they don't try to get to a definite "I'm the winner, you are the loser." They
Okay, so it's
just they're
basically
just trying to tire the other person,
okay.
but
Yeah.
they don't actually have an actual purpose of deciding. Okay, this is the winner.
I see. I see.
So, so the longer the war take, the less powerful the leaders of that war are, the more afraid they are.
Mm-hmm.
So, not that it was correct, but when uh, when Hitler went into Europe, he went with this blitz, which
Right.
was basically few German on a motorcycle with a machine gun, and they took all of Europe. Why? because Europe was ready in a defense line. They were just ready to defend. They were not ready to attack. And you don't win a war by defending.
I see.
War by having 50% defense, 50% attack. And the moment that you start the war, you need to move to 75% attack, 25% defense, because you need to move the war to the side of the enemy.
I see. I see. Yeah, you need to push forward to them into their
Yes.
territory, essentially. Yeah.
And the war get won by viewpoint.
Okay. Like a shift in viewpoint?
Yes. So what happened is like that. You go into a war, and it's not really important what's going on in the war. What's important is what your viewpoint on what happened. So, for
Oh, you're
example,
okay.
so
Yeah.
Washington lost and lost and lost and lost and lost many battles, but he win the war
Right.
because for him he didn't actually lose.
Yes. Yes.
For
And
him,
for everybody, right.
and every,
For everybody listening, maybe just explain that what happened with Washington versus Britain in that time, just in a nutshell.
so generally, Washington was fighting the biggest empire at the time, Britain, with much more weapon, much more force, much more organized, and like unlimited resources versus literally a military that was made up of unorganized groups.
Yeah.
But so basically, they had no chance against England. It's like a terrorist organization going against Israel. Okay, you can make a few scratches, but you cannot really overtake Israel. That's the relationship in force. So what happened there, the difference was that Washington had a very strong purpose. And for him, losing a battle was not a loss. It was just a necessary step towards the victory.
Yeah.
So when your viewpoint in life is that any kind of a battle that you have is just a necessary step towards the victory, then if someone thinks that you lost, they think that you lost. You don't think that you lost. It's just a necessary step towards victory. And when you start to look at life as a series of battles towards a victory, you will see that you will lose only when you stop or when you change your mind and you think that you lost. But if you think, okay, something happened, a disaster, I had an accident, a necessary step towards victory. But you had an accident, not a problem. Someone break into my house and stole everything, a necessary step towards victory. My wife poisoned me, a necessary step towards victory. Whatever happened, it's not a problem, because for as long as you are there, it's just a necessary step towards victory. And if your whole viewpoint on life is just another necessary step towards victory, and it's not really important if I won or lost, I'm getting closer to victory. That's unbelievable viewpoint. And the only thing that will break you is this: if the steps that you're taking are not towards a specific victory. If the steps that you're taking are based on your emotions or your feelings or revenge or anything else other than the defined victory. So for as long as you have a defined victory, and you go and you walk, you operate towards that victory, what's happening there on the road, it's irrelevant. If I lost $1 billion while I was making my first $1 billion, it's not a problem. I lost $1 billion, I lost 2 billion, but eventually I made 1 billion. Not a problem. No one will look at the 2 billion that I lost along the way, as long as at the end I'm with plus 1 billion.
Yes. Yes.
That's the big difference in viewpoint between fighting and making every little battle so important, or just nothing is important. I'm just
Right.
going towards a victory.
Hmm. I love that. That's a big, massive difference because most people get very easily discouraged in their own wars. Now, what about somebody who says, I really have no more resources? Like, this has just completely devastated me. As an example, let's say somebody's already in debt and they're in a terrible situation in general in their life and they've lost their job, etc., etc. And then a hurricane comes and flattens their house, and now it's like they are almost there's just literally nothing left. They barely have their body left. Uh,
Okay.
what does how does somebody, you know what I mean, have
I
that
will explain
viewpoint?
it. I'll explain it in a little bit of a different way. Most of the time, when I talk to people and I told them, and they're telling me about their problems, they said, "Look, Mayor, I've tried everything."
Hmm. Hmm.
The truth is that you never tried 0.000000001% of what is possible. But because you
Yeah.
believe you lost everything, then you have everything. You're going to be right. You
Hmm.
find, my law is that you find only what you're looking for. So if you say that I lost everything, you have to be right. You lost everything. And if you say, I lost all of that, but around me there is abundance. Look
Yeah.
how much things there is around me. And what do I own? Anything that I can communicate with. If you can
Mm.
communicate with something, you own it. So there is most of the people, most of the time, are feeling poor in the midst of abundance. There's
Mm.
endless amount of money, but not money for you because you push the money away by saying, "Oh, I cannot have it," even if you don't say it
Out
openly.
loud. Yeah.
Yeah, if you say it covertly, but you know that you cannot have it, so you cannot have it.
Mm.
So the truth is that you never lost everything. You still have a body, and even if you lost your body, you still have a mind, and you still have you, and you can take a new body. And
Right.
this, you never lost everything because you are
Hmm.
the creator of things. So it's a lie.
Wow. That's amazing. And again,
And
that's the
again, that's
viewpoint. It's the only viewpoint that will get you out of it.
yeah,
It's,
nothing
yeah.
in Washington. I never lost any. Oh, this battle. Ah, yes, yes, yes. It's well done for the UK. They really they've done such a good, unbelievable ambush. That was amazing. I cannot wait for the next round.
Yeah, exactly.
That was
That's,
his viewpoint. That's the
yeah, I know,
viewpoint.
I know. It's amazing. It's like unheard of, but it's true. Anybody that's listening can actually go and research that. And it's really incredible how Washington overcame like the worst conditions, but somehow defeated Great Britain.
Yeah, he always thought that it's not a problem. The viewpoint was
Yeah,
no problem. Oh, we lost 50,000 soldiers. Not a problem. Less mouth to feed. We can be more
exactly.
efficient. He was
Yeah,
always finding something positive, and he just was another step on the road to victory. It's just a necessary step on the road to victory. Nothing was too much. Nothing is ever a real loss. It's just another necessary step on the road to victory. And as long
yeah,
as your eyes is on the victory, you will see that nothing can defeat you. You
yeah.
cannot be
Amazing.
defeated. Nothing can hurt you. Nothing can actually hurt you. How do I know? Because if two people have exactly the same disaster, two people lost a car,
Hmm.
and they have exactly the same starting point. They have that is their car, and that's the only thing they have.
Yeah,
The reaction is totally different. One person now goes into 50 years of mourning, and another person goes into, okay, so let's buy a new car. That's
yeah,
exciting.
exactly. Yes,
I have
yes.
an excuse to get a new car. So the viewpoint, not the fact, is what control the result. Because the
Mm,
fact is just the current majority agreement.
love that. Yes, 100%. Now, they say that, I mean, not always, but they say that prevention is often the best cure, right? So, in a way, how can somebody also be proactive or prevent? In other words, do what they need to do when they can do it so that when
Mhm.
disaster strikes, they're not like, most people are chilling while times are good instead of preventing a
Yeah,
future disaster.
yeah. So if you are properly prepared, nothing happened to you.
Yeah.
If you're properly prepared, nothing happened to you.
Hmm.
And it's amazing. And you can prepare and prepare and prepare, and you nothing will happen to you. And this is beautiful, but that's not life. Because
Hmm.
people like the game, people like struggle. The most
Mm.
miserable people are the children of very rich people. Those people that born with a golden spoon in the mouth and they didn't even bother to chew. Someone chew for them.
Right.
You
Right.
understand? It's
Yeah.
disgusting that the most miserable people, and then they do go into all kind of problems. They invent problems. They will go into drugs. You look at these celebrities that have everything, and they destroy themselves. Why? Because they have no problems. There's no wars. So they
Mm.
invent insane war. What's the difference between a sane war and an insane war? An insane war is a war against you or your team, your own team.
Mm.
That's an insane war. Having fights within the family, within the company, within your own country is insane. Democrats versus Republicans. I don't know, Christians versus Muslims or whatever. All of that is insane because it's the same country.
Yes.
A sane target, a sane war will be a war to overtake the stars, to
Yes.
extend the control of human beings into the stars. That will be a very sane war. We'll have a
Yeah.
lot of things to fight. So
Yeah.
when people fight people, it's usually insane.
Hmm.
But it's any war, it's better than no war. Any war
Right.
is better than no, because people need games. And the war can be seen as, okay, I want more territory and I'm a company, or I'm a country and I have a war in terms of influencing other countries. And
Hmm.
it become insane when the war is, okay, let's hurt other people. No, that's
Yeah.
not so good.
Yeah. And with
Yes.
a relationship, like if you have couples that fight a lot,
The
how can what's their war externally?
So the war externally is, let's become rich. Let's have a
Mm.
bigger house. Let's have better children. Let's
Mhm.
have bigger farm. Let's have more education. Let's help more people in in our group.
Yes, I
Not
see.
the same war. People will not survive without wars because war is just a game.
Yeah, I
Two
see.
opponents, these barriers, these freedoms, these purposes. It's just a game. It's a violent game. It's a boy game,
Ah,
and it's good. But try to have boys without games, and they will go insane.
yeah, we need
So,
guns and swords and yeah.
so, so wars are good as long as the victory is not against another person, not against people of your own, not against, in the case of mankind, not against people. In the case of countries, not against your own countries. In the against the same countrymen. So don't go Democrats against the Republicans. In the
Yeah.
case of a company, don't go the staff against the executives. That's insane.
Yes. Yes.
But neither war. I need a competition. A company without a competition, what am I doing? You are not selling. People buying from you. It's like so. Where's the fun?
Yeah. Yeah, I see. True. True. Now, when if we switch gears slightly, when it's a real war, before I want to talk about, the Middle East as an example, but let's get there. When it's a war, like somebody is actually attacking your company, let's say. Smear Oh, the live
Oh,
video I see on Instagram ended.
something happened, and the live on Instagram stopped.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Okay, fine. So we'll carry on YouTube. It's fine. I
Hold
think
on,
that
hold
it'll
on.
be
I will restart. I will
okay.
restart it.
Okay, cool.
1 second. I will
Okay,
restart it. Here we go. We're restarting part two.
okay. Part two,
Chapter
exactly.
management.
Okay, just a moment.
You're
Let me
not.
see once it
So
comes up.
I'm
For
live.
everybody that's watching on YouTube, etc., definitely share this in the meantime, promote it to people. I'm joining here on Instagram so we can carry on part
Got
two on
disconnected
Instagram.
for some reason. And here we go. Gal, I see you. I see the request. And go live with Gal Ezra. Yes.
Perfect.
See, let's see. Yes. Joined.
Hi, Jason.
Excellent.
How are you? And Lizette said, wow. Bridget sending a heart. Yes. Eva said, funny, love it. AI art. Wow. Yes.
Okay,
Okay.
we're here.
So we're
And I see
back
Lee
on.
joined us on Instagram.
Perfect.
Yes.
Okay, yes. Hi. Okay, so we're back. So I was just a part of talking about the fact that I want to get into like a real major war situation like the Middle East. But what I want to talk about first is what about a situation where somebody's really like attacking you, whether it's your company. Let's just say, we'll take that example. Someone's really now attacking the company, right?
Yeah.
Whether it's competition or whatever. And there's a war on
Mhm,
that level.
mhm.
What is right and what is wrong in war? Because people say all is fair in love and war,
Yeah.
right? So the question is, how fair is it? How deep can you go in a war? What are the principles there?
Okay. So the principles is that when if someone attacking my company,
Hmm.
so we have company against company. So I will damage the company. I will fight against the company and protect the well-being of the person. So, for example, I had a
Hmm.
situation where someone attacked me, or me and my company, and they decided to sue us, and we decided to defend ourselves, and we won, of course. But in the process, I had a someone got me a very dirty video on the owner of the other company that attacked us. And he said, you can use that and he will stop everything. And I said, yes, the war will stop. He will be destroyed. We will win. But I destroyed now his kids. I destroyed his wife. I destroyed the family. I made such a destruction that has nothing to do with my purpose of the war.
Hmm. Hmm.
So I didn't do it. I
Hmm.
could. I had two very bad videos about this guy, like really bad.
Hmm. I see.
But yeah, but he has kids, he has a family, he has a wife, he has this. No, I would not do it.
I
So
see.
you need to understand the target. You need to understand what's the victory is, and you need to understand who involved in the war and who is not involved in the war. And as much as possible, those that are not involved, don't hurt them as much as possible. Now, if those that not involved are helping them, helping the enemy, they become a target.
Yeah, I see. I see.
Yeah. So the basic principle is if a group doing something, if someone in a group doing something bad, the group have to support that person in order to do bad, because
Yes.
there's
Yes.
nothing bad that happening in the group that no one knows. So
Mm,
if the majority support that person, if the majority of the German supported Hitler, they become a target.
I see. I
Are you
see.
with me?
Yeah, 100%. That makes sense. Got it. That's amazing. That's an amazing explanation of that, an
Yeah.
example. Yeah.
You really need to understand what your purpose, who is involved and who is not involved. And if the person is not involved, do all you can, not to hurt them, to protect them. I
Mm.
could
Wow.
really destroy this guy and his family and his children and the extended family,
Of course.
because the whole group, everyone would be devastated by that, like really bad. And I will win like that. He will surrender, and it will be 100%. But no, I
Mm,
took the longer route. I won without dirtying my hands.
yeah, amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. That's a great example of that. Like that answers it perfectly. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, now if we switch to a situation like the Middle East, right? Which right now tensions are very high. There was a series of massive high-level attacks by Israel on Hezbollah and the whole thing that went down in the last week and a half or 2 weeks. We take that example, war.
Mhm.
What's right and what's wrong in that situation? What can the viewers learn from that?
Okay. So the first thing that you need to understand that in a war, people die.
Hmm.
In a war, people die. I was born in Israel, and from the age of 0, I've been bombarded, and my friends, children, adult, uh, got killed by the ongoing war between Israel and at that time was the PLO. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
PLO is basically the Palestinians Liberation Organization. Yes. And
Yes.
the PLO had the purpose of killing all the Jewish people in Israel. That's why they say from the river to the sea. There's only one Jewish country in the whole world, and it is between the river of Jordan to the Mediterranean Sea. And basically, their motto on their charter was we want to push all the Jewish people into the sea, and if they are good swimmer, good luck, and if not, also good luck.
Yes. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
So that's
Hmm.
what it means from the river to the sea. Okay. So
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of people, a lot of children and people dying for many, many years. And in Israeli, I experienced suicide bombing, which probably most of you don't have any idea what it is. But for years, for probably over 7 years, every month, once, two, three times per month, a suicide bomber will show up in a restaurant in Israel and will explode himself and or in a bus or something like that. So I experienced that bad things. And on the other hand, after every one of those things, Israel will go and fight the Hamas or Hezbollah or PLO, whoever it is on the other side, that and will try to hit the terrorists, but the terrorists are hiding beyond the civilians, so civilians will get hurt as well. And if you have not been living in that region, if you are not seeing what's actually happening there, I can tell you for sure that both sides, Israel and the Palestinians, are not actually showing the truth of what's happening.
Mm. Interesting.
Palestinians are amazing they have their own Hollywood. They're amazing in lying about what actually happened.
Hmm.
Uh, they're missing the main point, which is Israel want peace. Israel invite Palestinian for peace, and the Palestinians don't want peace. They want Israel to die. They don't want a Jewish country.
Yeah.
That's really on their charter. It's not I'm saying that.
Yeah.
On the other hand, when Israel retaliate, while it's doing a lot more than the average army to prevent suicide, to prevent civilians
Casualties.
casualties, they don't do enough. What do I mean not doing enough? The first time that something like that happened, Israel should go and close the cycle, destroy that organization.
Yeah.
And by that, handle every time that Israel did not handle, every time Israel stopped, and there was many tens of times that Israel went into the Palestinians area and didn't close the cycle, didn't actually remove Hamas or Hezbollah from power, Every time it didn't happen, right at the beginning, Israel is to blame for anything that happened next.
I see.
Because if you're going to fight, get a victory,
Yes.
not a status quo, a victory.
What do you mean by
Imagine
status quo?
some kind of an agreement of, oh, we will live with you. Imagine that the outcome of World War II will be Mr. Hitler still in power, Japan still not surrendering, and the US and Japan and Germany getting to some kind of an agreement that they stay in a war, but not actually deciding who is the winner. There is no surrender.
I see.
What will
Yeah.
happen today?
Yeah. It would have been a
A
continuation. It
continue-
would have been tons
Exactly.
of deaths, endless fighting, fear.
So when there is a war, the law is you need a victory, whatever
Mm,
it takes. You cannot have half-half. And the victory can be, at the end of a victory, there's always peace. At the end of a status quo, there is always continuation of war.
I see.
Those people that say, oh, let's stop the war one-sided, they're actually creating a bigger, more bloody war in 3, 4, 5 years from now. Just look at history and you'll see that this is the mistake. The basic mistake is once you went to war, don't go to war. It's much better. But once you went into war, you need a victory. Not 90%, not 95, 100%. Surrender of one side. Because you cannot play basketball with the whole time everyone is in takeoff. Every
Hi. Yeah.
always this time
Yeah.
because no one wants to actually push it to a win. No,
Right.
if you are in tackle, you've got another 5 minutes, another 10 minutes extension of time until we
Till there's
decide
the
who is
winner.
the winner. Yeah, because otherwise there's no it's not otherwise it's destructive.
Mm,
And
yeah.
that's the reason, because people are just automatically say, oh, war is bad or people dying is bad. No, if the war started, you need an unconditional winner. And
Yeah.
otherwise, the next war will be 10,000 times bloodier.
I see. It's almost like, in a way, the people that have died before will have
Mm,
died in vain because there
yeah.
was no conclusion.
Mhm.
And also it's not to say that if one side surrender, it's a bad thing. I mean, if you look at it, Japan majorly surrendered after they got two atom bombs that hit them in World War II, and now they're flourishing and the relationship is amazing and they've expanded and it was actually a beautiful thing that there
The-
was an end to that insanity.
Because there is an end of cycle.
Yes.
But it was not black and white. And Hitler was still in power.
True.
Japan was still fighting the West. So
Yes.
it's not really important who wins. The basic thing is at the end of a war that properly been fought, end up with a peace.
Hmm.
Not a peace agreement, a peace. And if it's not a peace, the war has not been fought properly, and the next round will be 10,000 times worse. Why? Because the weapon becomes worse, because there's more people that die with less effort. It's much worse. Every year it becomes worse. So
Yeah.
if you are actually a lover of peace, push as much as you can as a citizen for peace and not war. But if we got into a war, never mind why, either win or lose. But
Hmm.
don't stay in the middle. Never stay in the
Yeah.
middle. Either make money or close the company. But don't stay in the middle for 10 years, hardly making money. The owner don't make money. Everyone's suffering. Problems, 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 problem. Because at the end there will be bankruptcy that will hurt many more people than if I don't make money, thank you very much. 1 year, sayonara, done.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you
I
with me?
see. Yeah.
So war, if the actual purpose of the war is somehow pro-survival, it is a very specific target and it's a victory. Someone win and someone lose. Not 90%, not 99. And the win and lose is at the moment that both sides are willing to do an agreement of peace, real peace, not temporary peace, not bringing a third party that will keep us apart, not all kind of this nonsense insanity. It's never worked. It's
Yes,
never works.
I see that.
Vietnam, what's happened in Vietnam? Once the US say, okay, fine, thank you very much, we are out, peace.
Yeah, yeah,
It cannot be more or less peace. It cannot be the Soviet will make sure that the US and Vietnam not fighting, or
yeah,
North Korea. Yes,
yeah,
it
yeah,
cannot be. It has to be black and white. And this is what's
yeah,
you really have to understand in life. You have to close every cycle of action. You lost, wonderful, no problem, peace now. Next, even if it's every battle, I lost the battle, not a problem. Next one, but the
mhm,
one before is finished, done, fixed, nothing, nothing. I don't have any bad feelings. I had an argument with you, finish the argument. The next second after that, not a problem. We go into a new argument, totally new argument. Wonderful. Let's become really creative, but not continuing to pile one argument on top of another, on top of another, on top of another. In none of those, we have an actual winner. You
yes.
need a winner. This universe needs plus and minus. You need a winner. If you don't have a winner, you're going to suffer.
Yeah, and I just want to
And I
say that
just
that's
want to
so
say that
visible, even with what's happening over the last year in Israel. This catastrophe, this blow up, is the result of many, many years of being in the middle. So,
yeah,
which is what you said, but it's really, really visible.
yeah.
Now, my final question is bigger picture. Okay, is there reason that there are these global, massive wars happening right now. Everywhere, it seems like every place is being shaken up in a different way.
Okay. So the more wars there are, war is the manifestation of the state of man.
Hmm.
The more insane a person is, the more wars he will have. Now, how do you make a person insane? You, first of all, as the first action, you destroy the education. You
Yeah.
have to make people stupid in order to convince them to fight. You'll see
Yes.
that it's much easier to get uneducated people to become criminals to fight
Yeah.
than it's to get an educated people to go and fight.
Right.
So first of all, you need to make sure that the majority are uneducated without them knowing that they're uneducated. So they go to school, but they don't understand anything. If you take the average person and do a test of what he learned from the age of 6 to the age of 18, 20,000 hours, and you find out what he actually know, not remember, know and can use 0.00001%, and I can squeeze all the things that he knows in probably 3 days of learning,
Yes.
1 month of learning. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So 12 years, 20,000 hours, and zero actual learning. So you actually make a person stupid because not only that he didn't learn, but he realized that he cannot learn. He secretly
Yes.
believed that he is not smart.
Hmm.
Most people secretly believe that they cannot learn. That's
Yes.
number yes. Yes.
Very true.
The second thing you do, you convince people that the handling for anything is drugs, pain drugs, depression drugs, antidepressant drugs, anti-pain. If you cannot learn, drugs. If you have a problem with your wife, well, she's already a drug. So,
Yeah, but it's so true. Sleep, drug.
yeah,
You want to
drug,
relax, drug.
drug.
Yeah.
Everything is drugs, 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 drugs. And what's the problem with drugs? The problem with drugs is not so much the physical effect, but is the admission by the spirit that it is an effect. You're not anymore cause. And if you're
Hmm.
not cause anymore, everything that will be given to you, any force that will be pushed against you, you will be the effect of, and so you will do things that you don't agree to,
Mm-hmm.
because you
Yes.
are not cause, you are an effect.
Yeah, I see that fully.
The next thing is the destruction of the family unit. Go
Mm,
100 years ago, how many marriages end up in divorce?
yep. Much
Nothing.
less than today. Nothing. They stuck it
5%.
through. Tough
5%,
times, everything. Yeah.
maybe. And today, the bad news is that marriage lasts forever. So
Uh,
the other
yeah, but
95
it's
last forever.
yeah, yeah, exactly. But so true. I mean, even back then, like 100 years ago, through the toughest of times and
Yes, there
hardships,
was
crazy conditions, it was a unit.
divorce was not it was not an option. It basically was like nonsense. Why? Because the family unit is so important for children
Mm,
that when you break the family unit, the children become broken.
yeah, yeah.
Children, most children of broken families are broken themselves.
Hmm. Yeah.
Parents that don't understand that actually kill the things that most important for them, which is their children.
Yes.
So you've got the next thing is the destruction of the food. If the food is not actually giving proper nutrition to the body,
Yeah.
the the body start to become insane. The body
Yes.
act insane. When you have food deficiencies, your mind play tricks on you.
Hmm.
It is if you take a person and you make him, it's every woman know that when the husband is hungry, he's not exactly sane, because the
Yes.
mind play tricks on you. You really believe that things are bad when they are not.
Right.
Then the destruction of religion. uh, when religion got destroyed, and it's not important which religion you follow, but when you don't have a religion, you don't have a north, you don't have what's right and what's wrong. And then
Hmm.
everything is right. So stealing from your parents is right, cheating is right, killing is right, lying is right, everything is right because religion give you the compass of what is right and what is wrong. And you take all
Yeah.
of those things together, and what you get is a society that easily pushed by propaganda.
Yes.
And
Yes.
that's what you have today. Society
Mhm.
that don't understand what they see, they don't actually understand what they see, and so they listen to all kind of influencers that themselves either don't understand or are promoting a specific agenda that has
Mhm.
nothing to do with you, but because you cannot actually evaluate the data, you act stupidly. I can tell you that 99% of all the saying that I hear on Instagram, and some of you that know me know that, I can prove that they are so like furthest from the truth. That if you will actually follow those things on Instagram and YouTube and all of those big opinion leaders, you will end up nowhere. And it's correct. You see that most people that go to these big hoo-ha seminars or follow up those guys that they believe in, those people that follow up end up in a worse condition than what they started.
Yeah. Yeah. Very true. So
Yeah.
basically, we can say that most influencers have been influenced. So
Yeah.
it's not actually them influencing you.
Not at all. It's just that
Yeah.
they can speak nicely or look good or have the correct accent. And so you follow them, and most of the people cannot actually evaluate, they incorrectly support ideas that destroy themselves. Just look, if your influences are so good, your life should improve and improve and improve and improve and improve. And since everything is on YouTube and you saw everything already about any issue that bothers you, your life should improve, but your life do not improve, which means that what you listen to destroys you. And that's the wow.
What is the wow? That is 100% exactly what it is.
Mhm.
Yeah, amazing, amazing. So why this propaganda push? Why this urge to get people to be, totally uneducated, on drugs, malnourished, without a family, no religion? Why? What's for what?
Imagine 8 billion people that are uncontrolled.
Mm-hmm.
So now you can control people in one of two ways. If the leaders themselves are in good condition, they will control the people by reason, by something that actually have a common purpose. We
Yes.
want to go to the moon. We want to build a dam. We want to improve the life of our children. And the leaders that actually have an pro-survival goals will be able to lead educated people towards pro-survival goals.
Yeah.
When the goals are counter survival, let's destroy Israel from the river to the sea, you know that the leaders that leading those people are insane.
Mm-hmm.
Or from Israel, let's kill all the Palestinians. Well, the leaders that leading this kind of message are insane, because
Yeah.
the handling is not to kill all the Palestinians or not to push all the Jewish people to the sea.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the handling, and it's not really important right now who is right in this specific argument, in this specific war,
Right. Yeah.
because it's really irrelevant.
Yeah.
Yes. So the only thing that's relevant is if the purpose is counter survival, then you know that the leader are bad. The purpose of Hitler was to take over all of Europe to make everyone slaves. It was a bad purpose. So obviously it was correct for the Allies to go and fight him.
Yes.
And
Yes.
if Germans were not so brainwashed by the propaganda, they will realize that, one second, the principle is like that. If the purpose is counter survival to more people than it's pro survival, then the purpose is not correct. So there is 20 million Germans and we want to take all of Europe. So we will do it good for 20 million Germans, but we will destroy 200 or 300 million European. It's not good.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Yeah. I
number
see
one,
that.
it doesn't work.
Yeah.
So you don't have to be genius to realize that, but you cannot realize that if you have been stupidified for a long, long time by drugs, education, propaganda, etc., etc. And if you've been stupidified by this propaganda, then you cannot see the obvious.
Mm-hmm.
What does it mean to act stupidly? It is not to see the obvious. The obvious is,
Yes.
why should we go to war against Europe?
Yes. Exactly.
How killing 300 million people or making 300 million people obey us is correct?
Right.
What will happen if we would be on the other side? Would you want someone else to do it to you? No. So it's not correct.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Got it. I see. I see. So it's really a push to just control and
It's a push by insane group of people,
yes.
specifically 12 families that controlling this planet, that don't believe that they can control the population by pro-survival purposes.
Mm-hmm.
So destroy the people so they can control them by counter survival purposes.
I see. I see.
Why,
Amazing.
why will you convince all the people in Gaza to fight Israel if you could build a wonderful country? You had the money. Why will you let Hezbollah destroy Lebanon, which was the Paris of the Middle East? Why will you let this something like that happen? What's the
Sure.
purpose? Fighting with Israel? Is Egypt doing better or worse since it has peace with Israel? Is
Better.
Jordan doing, of course, is Jordan doing better or worse than it, since it has a peace
Better.
agreement with Israel? Much better.
Yeah.
So is
100%.
Japan doing better or worse since it had an peace agreement with the US?
Of course, much better. Exactly.
So if
Yeah.
if someone goes and say from the river to the sea, basically say let's kill all the Jewish people in Israel, obviously it's not pro-survival.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So the
Yeah.
target is incorrect.
Yeah.
And then that same person say genocide. He wants to kill all the Jewish people in Israel, and he said Israel commit genocide. So I want to commit genocide against you. Like the
Yeah.
insanity is so big. It's like it couldn't be invented. It's like just an insane person can accept something like that.
Exactly. And there's a major deterioration in general in society. And
100%.
that sort of brings to some degree, before we wrap up, about the Soul Coffee and why that program was created. And in general, people day to day are basically being bombarded with things that makes them insane to greater or lesser degree in their wars of their life.
Yeah.
Much like what Jason said here, he said, I think this applies for people. Like people have wars with completing their tasks, and in the process, they damage everything else that they want to do, which is very true. And it's kind of what we spoke about. So the Soul Coffee was created to counteract the bombardment that people get. So can you tell us in a minute about that?
Yeah. So I've realized that people, I'm working with a lot of people over many years, and I'm helping people personally and as groups. And I realized that every year, new people that I meet become more and more stupid.
Hmm.
Like things that you could show to people 5 years ago, and the majority will say, yes, no problem. The average person in the street today will say, no,
Yes.
it's not true. Like,
So
for
true.
example,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
like the simplest thing in the universe. You come to someone and you tell him, you need to understand what you hear and definitely what you say. And he said, no, I don't need to understand what I hear. I need to make up what I hear. I said, no,
Hmm.
but if I said to you, I love you, and you make up that I say I hate you, it's not exactly correct. It will create a war. No, but I need to understand from the context. No. You need to understand from my words.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
And this was very obvious to the average man in the street 5, 10 years ago. Today, it's almost impossible. You tell a person something and he tell you, no, I need to think about it. And I'm talking about educated people.
Right.
They're called educated, they're not.
Yes. Yeah.
So I need to think about it. There's nothing to think about. I say something at this moment, is it right or wrong? And if it is right, it's beautiful. And if it's wrong, it's also beautiful. Just communicate. But to think about it is not to get to a decision in the war.
Exactly
Thinking
that.
is
Yes.
just an effort not to act. It's an effort not to face life. When you
Mm.
face life, you don't think. A busy executive don't think, he act. So I saw that people are worse and worse. They are more into drugs, more into anxiety, more into cheating, more into lying, more into stealing. Like it becomes worse and worse. And I realized that there's a war against people to stupidify people, to upset people, to make people fail. And
Yes.
it has been done by lies, spreading lies that the person believed they are true. So he start to operate on lies, so it doesn't bring the result for his life. So I decided to put something that will be a daily piece of truth. And and then I started with those videos, and there was this guy, someone from Mariah's family, that
Yeah.
says, he started to get those videos, and he says, it's like my soul coffee.
Mhm.
And I said, wow, that's such a good name.
Yeah.
It is like coffee for the soul. It's really, really good. And as you know, I love coffee.
Yes. And you love
So,
soul, so together
and I love
it's
yeah, so together is Soul Coffee. So this is how the Soul Coffee has been created. It's really a daily video that has so much truth in it that it handles anything that bothers you today. Why? Because the truth is that a piece of truth will undo any lie. It's not a truth about that. A piece of truth, an actual truth, will remove any lie.
right.
It's not that you need truth to handle this lie and truth to handle this light. It's like if you put light into darkness, any darkness will go away.
Yeah,
So truth remove any lie. And when the lies are removed, you show up. You, the spirit,
exactly.
show up. And the spirit knows. The spirit doesn't need data. The spirit
Hmm.
knows.
Yeah,
And that's
it's
quite
amazing.
amazing. Yeah.
It's exactly what the Soul Coffee does. And Bridget said, love Soul Coffee. And here on Instagram, Luciana said, the best videos of my day. So, yes, it's up on the screen, the link. But if you're listening to this, it's gprosperity.com/drink soul coffee. And for 97 cents a day, that's it. 97 cents a day. You get these daily videos. You have a 14-day free trial. So you'll get actually a bit over 14 videos because you get a couple right.
If you want it latte, it's more expensive. Yeah. Babala, if you want it latte, it's more expensive. You know that. You just need to tell them. If you want it latte, so this is sour coffee is just black. Ah, no, I see you. You are frozen, but I see you. It's fine. Okay. The- and I'm losing you again. Now I'm losing you on Instagram. I lost the sound. Ah, here we go. Yes, I got you. Okay, Baba. Okay. Thank you. Mwah. See you next week. Bye bye.